Okay, picture this. You're a liger. You're the biggest cat on planet Earth, bigger than a lion, bigger than a tiger. You could weigh over 1,000 pounds. You look like something out of a video game. And you will never, ever meet another liger in the wild because you're not supposed to exist. No liger has ever been born on its own, anywhere, ever in the history of the planet. Every single one, and there have only been a few dozen alive at once, was made because a human put a male lion and a female tiger in the same enclosure. You didn't choose this life. Nobody asked you. And weirdly, that's kind of the whole problem. Today, we're talking about hybrid animals. The mules, the ligers, the wolf dogs, even those fancy designer dogs your neighbor might own, and why being a hybrid is actually way harder than it looks. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to look at your pet completely differently.
So first, quick definition. Don't worry, this isn't a boring textbook moment. A hybrid is what you get when two different species, or two very different types of the same species, have a baby together. Normally in nature, animals only reproduce with their own species. A robin doesn't have babies with a blue jay. That's just not how it works. But sometimes, species that are closely related enough can have babies. And humans figured this out thousands of years ago and thought, what if we just made that happen on purpose? That's how we got mules, a donkey dad and a horse mom; ligers, a lion dad and a tiger mom; wolf dogs, part wolf, part domestic dog; zorses, zebra plus horse. Yes, this is real, and yes, it looks exactly like you're imagining. And even weirder ones like Grolar bears, which are polar bear and grizzly bear mixes that are now happening in the wild because of climate change melting their territory boundaries. Now, here's the fun, weird fact part of the video. Ready? A liger isn't just a mix of a lion and tiger's looks. Ligers get something called growth dysplasia. Basically, in normal lions and tigers, there's a hormone that tells the body, okay, stop growing now, you're big enough. But ligers are missing the stop growing signal from one of their parent species. So they just keep growing and growing, way past the size either parent would ever reach. That sounds cool on paper, biggest cat ever, right? But think about what that actually means for the liger's body. Its heart has to pump blood through a body way bigger than it evolved to support. Its joints and bones have to carry weight nothing in its ancestry ever prepared for. Many ligers develop serious health problems specifically because their bodies never got the memo to stop. That's your first clue that this video isn't going to be all fun facts and cool animal photos. There's a real cost to being a hybrid, and it starts at the genetic level. Let's talk about mules, because mules are actually the OG hybrid. Humans have been breeding them for over 3,000 years. Here's the wild part. A mule is created from a donkey and a horse. Two animals with a different number of chromosomes. Horses have 64. Donkeys have 62. A mule ends up with 63. You know why that number matters? Because it's an odd number. Chromosomes need to pair up neatly to make new eggs or sperm cells. With an odd number, they literally can't divide evenly. It's like trying to split 63 cookies equally between two people. Someone always gets stuck with a broken cookie. The result? Almost all mules are completely infertile. They can never have babies of their own. Ever. In their entire life. Now, sit with that for a second. From the mule's perspective. Every mule that has ever lived, pulling wagons in the 1800s, working farms today, carrying hikers' bags up mountains, will never pass on its genes. It is, biologically speaking, a dead end. Its whole existence depends 100% on humans deciding to make more mules by breeding horses and donkeys again. A mule cannot make more mules. That's actually true of almost every major hybrid animal. Ligers, tigons, zorses, nearly all of them are infertile, Or the males are infertile, while a small percentage of females sometimes aren't. Scientists even have a name for this pattern, Haldane's rule, which says that when hybrid offspring have fertility problems, it's usually the male of the pair that gets hit hardest. So here's your weird psychology moment for the video. Imagine being an animal whose entire life is a one-time event. You didn't choose to exist, you can't create more of you, and your whole species, if you can even call it a species, literally only exists because a human decided to make it happen.
Okay, here's where it gets genuinely fascinating from a psychology and animal behavior angle, not just biology. Animals aren't just bodies, they have instincts, behaviors baked into them by millions of years of evolution. A wolf howls to communicate with its pack across long distances. A dog barks because thousands of years of living alongside humans selected for that behavior instead. Now, put those two instinct sets in one animal. That's a wolf dog. Wolf dog owners and researchers report something really interesting. Wolf dogs often seem confused about their own social signals. Wolves communicate mostly through body language, subtle ear positions, tail heights, eye contact, and scent marking. Dogs, after thousands of years by our side, developed different signals, partly because we bred them to be easier for humans to read. A wolf dog can end up with a mixed-up internal signal system. It might not fit neatly into wolf pack behavior, and it might not fit neatly into typical dog behavior either. Some researchers describe wolf dogs as having heightened anxiety, specifically because of this in-between instinct problem. Their brain is getting mixed signals about how it's even supposed to interact with the world. Imagine that from the animal's perspective for a second. You have two competing rulebooks hardwired into your brain, and neither one fully applies to you. That's not something you can train away with treats. That's built into the wiring. This is actually why most wildlife experts and rescue organizations strongly discourage keeping wolf dogs as regular pets. It's not that they're inherently vicious. That's a myth. It's that their psychological needs are incredibly hard to meet because they don't fit the categories we've built our understanding of pet or wild animal around. Now, let's bring this closer to home, because you don't need lions or wolves for this conversation. You might have a hybrid sleeping on your couch right now. Think about breeds like puggles, pug plus beagle, labradoodles, lab plus poodle, cockapoos, cocker spaniel plus poodle. These are technically all hybrids too, just between two dog breeds instead of two species. And here's a fact that surprises a lot of people. This is often marketed as hybrid vigor, the idea that mixing genes creates healthier animals because you're diluting bad genes from either side. Sometimes that's true. But here's the part companies don't put on the puppy store sign. Mixing two breeds can also mean the puppy inherits health problems from both sides instead of just one. A puggle can end up with the pug's breathing issues and health risks connected to beagles. It's not guaranteed to just take the best of both worlds. Genetics doesn't work like a buffet where you only pick what you want. And there's an emotional side to this too. Many designer dog breeding operations aren't run by careful, ethical breeders. They're run by high-volume breeding businesses trying to cash in on a trend, sometimes without properly health testing the parent dogs. That means some of these hybrid puppies are set up with genetic problems before they're even born, all because a certain mixed breed became trendy on social media. So the wild twist here, the sucks to be a hybrid problem isn't just about exotic zoo animals. It might be happening in living rooms across the world right now in dogs, bred purely because a mix looked cute in a viral video. Here's a question that sounds simple, but actually isn't. Where does a hybrid animal belong? A wild tiger belongs in the forests of Asia. A lion belongs on the African savanna. But where does a liger belong? Nowhere. There is no liger habitat. There is no liger ecosystem. There is no liger social group in the wild for it to join, because ligers don't happen in the wild. Ever. That means every hybrid animal that's large or exotic enough to need special care is entirely dependent on humans for the rest of its life. Zoos and sanctuaries that end up with hybrid big cats often describe it as one of their hardest jobs, because you're not just caring for an animal. You're caring for an animal whose entire existence has zero natural blueprint to fall back on. Compare that to something like a mule. Mules actually have a job description in human society: pulling carts, carrying loads, working farms, and many mules live good, structured lives doing exactly that. But animals like ligers or wolf dogs often end up without a clear purpose or place, stuck in a strange in-between, where they're too unusual for a normal zoo enclosure and too unpredictable to safely live like a house pet. That's a strange kind of existence when you really think about it. Being alive, but without anywhere in the world truly built for you.